ladies and gentlemen, we just got another gun topic video, with our last video being about Liberty Safe. And this takes place in the state of New Mexico, strangely enough. Now, just keep in mind, New Mexico is a Democratic state, solid blue state. Democrats have control of the legislature, they have control of the governorship, they have control over the courts. But this has gotten over the head, specifically of the governor. Her name is Michelle Lujan Grisham, who is the governor of New Mexico, where she basically enacted her own executive order as a result of an emergency over Albuquerque's mass shootings. And it basically says that gun owners cannot carry their firearms within the city limits, whether it is open carry or concealed carry, for the next 30 days. Already, let's forget about the fact that this is let's forget about the fact that this has a major deal with the issue of the Second Amendment for the moment. She basically decided to do her own thing and go against the entire procedure where the legislature is the one that enacts laws, while the governorship enforces the laws of the legislator. She just decided blatantly, screw the entire process, I'm going to issue my own edicts and rule with an iron fist in the state of New Mexico. And already she's being called out on this. A lot of sheriffs are basically trying to say, no, we're not going to enforce this. A lot of people are even trying to call for her impeachment. And honestly, you can't necessarily blame them. I wouldn't even be surprised if a lot of Democrats are calling for her impeachment. Because this is obviously a blatant act that goes against the Bruin decision, as well as the constitutions that in New Mexico has to enforce. I'm not just talking about the U.S. Constitution that applies to every single state. I'm also talking about New Mexico's Constitution, where not only do they support supposedly support the idea of the right to keep and bear arms, but they also allow open carry. Through this effect, she's violating her oath of office, just in the case of New Mexico's Constitution, as well as the U.S. Constitution. I really hope that the idea of her getting removed goes through, because it's obviously this is just blatant. Not only is this blatant and ridiculous, but as I said before, this goes against the Bruin decision, which not only did allow constitutional carry, specifically of shall carry, at least for the moment, but it also established a litmus test based upon historic methods over the issue of gun rights. And considering the fact that this is a pretty new idea about the governor just blatantly saying you cannot carry your firearms, whether open or concealed, I'm pretty sure that even liberals, the most hardcore gun control activists, have absolutely no argument in this case whatsoever. I really hope that this is injuncted and fall out of court. I really do. Because no sane person, hell, not again, as I said before, no gun control activist can legally make a case about this. Next I'm going to, in fact, in a way, this kind of reminds me of the empty room fallacy that I learned from Count Dankula over people who are anti-free speech trying to make these stupid arguments. This is basically where you can say what you want in an empty room, but everywhere else you can't say anything, which is kind of funny because literally that's against free speech, and that's not really doing that's literally going against the purpose of free speech, which is the flow of information, whether it be true or false. And this is now being applied to guns, specifically in the state of Albuquerque. I really hope that Six Hex and Hammer's idea of there being a rally of concealed carry and open carry law-abiding law-abiding citizens within New Mexico going to Albuquerque and just going to town hall, just brandishing weapons and rallying around peacefully. I hope that's the case, because there is no way that city officials or county officials or even state officials can arrest all these people. But already, it's just glorious how a lot of people are just calling out this governor and calling for her to be impeached. I am reading from Fox News specifically about this, and especially since that the New Mexico governor decided to make a shocking statement about the Constitution. And honestly, this kind of rhymes with what Joe Biden has been saying in the past few years about said Constitution. New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grissom's controversial statements in defense of a temporary gun ban prompted fierce backlash on social media. The Democrat issued an emergency public health order on Friday, suspending the right to carry guns in public access, Albuquerque, and the surrounding Bernalillo County, I'm pretty sure I just butchered that, for at least 30 days following the shooting deaths of 3 children in the area. Local law enforcement officials expressed concerns that the governor's order violated the Second Amendment rights. The governor acknowledged the ban may face legal challenges and addressed these concerns during a press conference. After a reporter questioned whether Grissom was upholding her oath to the Constitution, she argued no constitutional rights were fixed, including her oath. This isn't me saying this. This is the governor of New Mexico saying this. It's her oath isn't fixed. The Constitution isn't fixed. Your rights are not fixed. Whether that be for guns, free speech, due process, or whatever. Unless it applies to the people who are actually speaking said stuff. Then they would be basically hypocrites and playing the victim at this point. Continuing on. No constitutional right, in my view, including my oath, is intended to be absolute, she retorted. Grissom cited restrictions on free speech as an example of how rights can be curtailed in emergency situations. I'm just glad about this next part. Commentators across X, formerly known as Twitter, angrily responded to the governor's statement, with some calling for her impeachment. And I'm not going to go into the Twitter comments too much, but the fact is that there are people already calling for her impeachment. It's just glorious. And honestly, I hope it doesn't just go to impeachment. I hope that she's removed. Because how the hell could you claim that there is some kind of flexibility, whether it's saying that free speech is not absolute, gun rights are not absolute, not even my oath is absolute. Yeah, that kind of sounds something what tyrants would do. Hell, that's something what Joe Biden said specifically about the Constitution. No amendment is absolute. And people wonder why I think that he is a tyrant. Why Joe Biden is a tyrant. And that he should be removed from office. Not just because he's demented, but just he's corrupt. But, my God, it's just already, this governor is facing so much backlash. It's glorious. Now, 6 Examiner also talked about how this may potentially, just a small potential, because there are a lot of issues that Democrats within New Mexico, they have different opinions from what the main political party has, how it could tip the scales of New Mexico turning more into a battleground state. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but that would be pretty cool if it does. Nonetheless, this is further showing the face of the Democratic Party. This is showing the face of gun control activists all around. They don't care about safety. In fact, they're using that as an excuse. What they do care about is restricting your freedom and openly destroying your rights as a U.S. citizen. And people are not and will not have this. My name is Nomi, and on the Arc Truth. Please post your comments down below, like this video, subscribe, share with friends. Also, if you have any issues regarding my videos, such as how I speak, or any improvements I should make, please post them in the comment section down below, or directly message me. Thank you.
almost heaven.